Express yourself, baby, I'm expressing a whole movement. As a reigning Miss Bear Belgium 2025, I wanted to pay tribute to the community that crowned me. Soft, loud, strong, and proud, this is a deconstructed love letter to Bear Pride. This is Afterglow, where I take you behind the runway to show you how I took pride, leather, and teddy bear realness into a fashionable garment statement you won't forget. This episode starts now.
Coming for your spot, neon noir, now let me show you what I got.
Hello, my beautiful light brights. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Neon Noire. I'm a half Italian, half Canadian drag queen living in Amsterdam. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So as you saw in the episode or in the beginning of this video, you would know that for episode 1's Runway Express Yourself, I decided to do a Bear Pride inspired look. But let me tell you, this was not my first idea. In fact, it wasn't even my second idea. So let's get into it and tell you how this idea even came to be. So first we need to talk about the theme. The theme, express yourself. It could be so many different things. But let's read the official rules that they gave us that we had to follow. On the runway, category is express yourself. Give us a look that showcases who you are or where you come from. It can be inspired by your cultural heritage or something that's really important to you as a person. The look should feel special. We want you to showcase a side of you that will make the audience fall in love and relate to you more. We want to celebrate what makes you special. Feel free to use this opportunity to educate, inspire, especially in your workroom footage. So I had two ideas right off the bat. The first was to do a look inspired by the multicultural person I am. So as I said in my intro video, I am half Italian, half Canadian. I currently live in the Netherlands. I did live in Spain, the US, and the UK before, and I currently hold a Belgian title because I also lived there. So all of these nationalities, I was thinking this is a look. And I wanted to do something mixing all of these flags together. And this is a look that I wanted to do for a while. But reading the description, this felt a little superficial. I wanted to showcase something a little bit deeper. So the idea I had actually gone for was to do something on school shootings. So for those of you who don't know, which is probably most of you because I don't really talk about this a lot, is at the age of 16 in my first, or 17, 2006. Okay guys, it was 2006. I was in a school shooting and had to literally run for my life. One of my classmates, Anastasia, she ended up passing away. And another one of my classmates got a ricocheted bullet in her arm. And we were studying art, so she dropped out as well. So this was a very pivotal time in my education, the way I grew up. And that's been an idea that I've been melding in my mind for a while, that I wanted to do a look inspired by this. I also thought this message of gun violence would be really strong, especially considering that the show has a mainly US audience. So I thought this would have been a really good look to start off with. Because the message was so strong, I knew that it had to be a special garment, and I wanted to do it correctly. The thing is that, as I said in my last episode, the timelines to do these episodes are quite short. And at the beginning of the show, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. So I had just spent so much time on my promo look, and I was already kind of running on steam, and I had to do a second look. On top of it, the person who usually makes my costumes, Cinderella Specialties, was sick during this time, so I couldn't ask her for help. So this would have meant that I would have had to do this look 100% on my own, and I really didn't think I could pull off such a strong idea with the limited capabilities I have as a seamstress person to pull off this look. I ordered a couple of pieces online and they just didn't arrive the way I had originally planned it. And the judges had said that this was going to be an elimination episode, unlike previous seasons. And I did not want to go home first. So I decided to pause this and go in a different direction. Honestly, it kind of saddened me to go in a different direction because I really felt strongly about this idea. But like I said, I didn't feel like I could pull it off with the resources and time that I had. So another direction it was. The other decided to go was the Miss Bear Belgium route. I had just won this title a few months earlier. I was actually working on this look for a couple of months, and I was preparing it for Brussels Pride, which happens in May. But this episode actually happened before that, and I happened to have it ready. So I decided that this would be a perfect opportunity to showcase this look. The thing about this look is I don't know how you want to say it, one of my strongest, most expensive looks I had, and it was not one that I wanted to do on episode 1. In fact, I was thinking of using this for the grand finale, but when push came to shove, I did not want to go home first, and I thought it fit the theme quite well, so I decided to use it first. So let's get into the idea behind it and how it came to be. So for Express Yourself or Belgian Pride, whichever one you want to consider it, I knew I wanted to do a bear inspired look. I had two separate ideas and separate sketches. One that was inspired by the flag and the other one that was inspired by teddy bears themselves. I liked both of them. The teddy bear version was a little bit campier and was a little bit more me and a little bit more playful, and one that I could actually like dance and move in, while the Bear Pride flag one was a little bit more neutral and simple. I was debating on which one to go with until I went to Envy Peru's drag sale. Yes, Envy Peru, the winner of Drag Race Holland, was having a sale where she was selling off a bunch of her garments. And while I was at her sale, I saw this black corset made by Isabel Schultz for sale. And if you don't know who Isabel Schultz is, she's made a bunch of drag costumes for a lot of the girls. She made Blue Hydrangea's crowning dress. She made stuff for Mami Wata. And of course, she's made stuff for all the Dutch girls, including Envy Peru. So when I saw this corset and I saw my sketch, I was like, these two match perfectly. So I had to pick it up. And therefore, that made the decision that I was gonna go with the Bear Pride flag look. I then hit up Cinderella Specialties, who makes a lot of my costumes, and asked her to create all the additional pieces and attach ostrich feathers to the look to make it more me. The hair was a little bit of an interesting one. I was debating what to do. Originally, I wanted to do something a little bit more coiffed, a little bit more fancy, a little bit more regal, since I was the queen after all, until I saw this one wig made by the Wig Factory, and I thought it looked really cool. So I asked him if he could make me that same wig in orange, and that's what I did. And then I put it all together, and that's how I came up with the look. Like I said, this was done a few months before, but nobody had seen it by the time I filmed this episode. So I thought it was quite perfect. It was a little bit of a, let's show the world what is happening. And I'm very proud of this look. I've worn this look several times since then. I worn it to Brussels Pride. I wore it to my step down of Miss Bear Belgium, because even though we are still in 2025, the 2026 winner was just announced a few weeks ago. Yeah, so I wore it as my step down look to that. I've performed in it, and yeah, it's still one of my favorite pieces I own. That's the story about the look. It's actually not that crazy, not that over the top. This is what my normal process would look like, but I will promise you, this is the only time the process would be this simple in this entire competition. So if you want to hear more about my other looks, stay tuned, because like I said, I will be dropping new episodes every week. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I do read all of them, and I do try to reply to most of them. And I'm also going to be doing a Ask Me Anything video at the end of the series, so I might save some of those questions for a separate video. On that note, my name is Noire, at Miss Noire on all social platforms, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.